This podcast is for informational purposes only and does not constitute financial advice. Consult with a qualified professional before making any investment decisions.
Welcome to The Wire Technology Edition, the week in real estate presented in digestible bites. Hold on while our AI hosts take us on another ride through this week's top real estate headlines.
All right, welcome back to The Wire, everyone. We are doing another deep dive this week, and as always, we are here for our awesome tech-savvy listeners.
Yes, it's exciting to see the kind of stuff you all are sending in. It really keeps us on our toes, making sure we're covering what really matters in the world of real estate tech.
For sure. And I gotta say, this week's batch of stuff is particularly interesting.
Definitely. We've got everything from CRM enhancements,
Oh, yeah.
lead generation partnerships, and then there's this whole shakeup in the MLS data platform world.
Yeah, that was a big one.
And of course, the ongoing battle for who's going to create the real estate super app.
Oh, that is going to be interesting to watch unfold. We even have some stuff on, well, believe it or not, smart lighting for staging.
Huh, I'm intrigued.
Right. And then a pretty significant rebrand in the real estate data world, too.
Lots to unpack. Let's get into it.
Okay, so first up, let's talk about CRM and agent productivity. It seems like everyone's trying to find that edge, right?
Absolutely. And we've got two really good examples of that this week.
Starting with real estate webmasters and those conversations metrics they've added to their CRM.
Yeah, this is a really interesting one. Instead of just looking at how many calls an agent makes, they're really digging into the quality of those calls.
Which makes a lot of sense when you think about it. I mean, what's the point of making a ton of calls if none of them are actually leading anywhere?
Right. And I thought it was brilliant how Morgan Carey, the CEO of Real Estate Webmasters, put it. If you don't write it down and measure it, you can't improve it. But it's not just about measuring. It's about what you measure and how you measure it. Call numbers alone don't tell the full story.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And the cool thing is that they're tracking things like connection rates, which tells you a lot more about how effective an agent's outreach is. And they've even got a way for agents who aren't using dialers to manually log their calls.
Smart move.
Yeah.
That way they're not excluding anyone who might be working a little differently.
Exactly. And for those of you out there who are managing teams, think about what you could do with this kind of data. You could see who might need some extra coaching on actually connecting with people, not just hitting that call button.
It's about working smarter, not just harder, right? And the fact that they're tracking voicemails and all the related activities gives you even more insight into an agent's overall effort.
Totally. Someone who's leaving really thoughtful voicemails is showing they're putting in the effort, even if they're not always reaching someone live. And it's worth noting that this whole thing was inspired by feedback from the Beyond Real Estate group, which just goes to show you how important it is for tech companies to really listen to what agents are saying.
Huge. Now, on a slightly different note, but still within this theme of agent productivity, we've got Lone Wolf Technologies launching their new relationship CRM.
Yeah, and their whole angle seems to be around simplicity, making things easier for agents.
Which, let's be honest, is a breath of fresh air in a world where tech can sometimes feel way too complicated.
No kidding.
Yeah.
And this CRM syncs directly with Google and Outlook, which I think is a game changer for a lot of people. Think about it. You don't have to waste time jumping between different platforms. Everything's right there.
And they've really focused on the features that matter most for agents.
Like what?
An AI-powered email composer, task automation, and a really cool timeline view of all your interactions with a client.
Yeah.
It's all about making client relationship management less of a hassle and more natural.
I love that. And I thought this quote from Lori Weston Davis really nailed it. We've spent countless hours trying to master complex CRM systems when all we need is a straightforward way to manage client relationships. Relationships will give us a tool that works the way we naturally work without all the unnecessary features that just get in the way.
Preach. I mean, who hasn't felt that frustration at some point? And I think this trend toward simpler, more user-friendly tech is a really positive one for the industry. If agents can actually use the tools without pulling their hair out, they're more likely to adopt them and, actually be more productive.
Definitely. Okay, so let's move on to another topic that's been generating a lot of buzz, MLS and data access.
Yeah, we've got a couple of really interesting stories here, starting with PropStream's new partnership with Beaches MLS.
This one seems like a win-win for everyone involved.
Totally. So Beaches MLS members now have direct access to all of PropStream's data and lead generation tools right there in their member dashboard.
Super convenient. And they're even offering a 7-day free trial so agents can try it out before they commit to a monthly subscription.
I like that. No pressure. And both Deanna Hall, the CEO of Beaches MLS, and Brian Tepfar, the president of PropStream, have been really vocal about the benefits of this partnership.
Yeah, they're both emphasizing how important it is for agents to have access to this kind of data, especially in a competitive market.
And I think they're right. Data is power. And the more accessible it is, the more level the playing field becomes.
Now, on a slightly less positive note, we've got the whole saga of Remine and its impending sale. This was a pretty big deal a couple of years ago when 4 major MLSs decided to buy it.
It was a huge investment, $53.5 million to be exact. And at the time, it seemed like they were really committed to building this cutting-edge data platform.
But as we all know now, it didn't exactly work out that way.
Not at all. The reports indicate that Remine never actually made any money.
And now they owe investors over $11 million.
Ouch.
Yeah. So now they're being forced to sell it off through this process called an assignment for the benefit of creditors. Basically, it's a way to avoid bankruptcy and pay back some of those creditors.
And you can see how much they struggle by the fact that their market reach has shrunk considerably. They used to be in almost 60 MLS markets, and now they're down to 40.
That's a pretty big drop. And one of the MLSs that was involved, Unlock, released a statement saying that they invested in Remine not for financial gain, but to give their subscribers a voice in shaping MLS technology.
Interesting. So it wasn't about the money, but about control, I guess.
It seems like it. But even with all that good intention, it just didn't work out the way they planned. It kind of makes you wonder if MLS organizations are really equipped to develop and scale technology like this.
Right. It's a totally different ballgame than running an MLS. Maybe partnerships or acquisitions are a better route for them.
Maybe. Okay, last but not least, we've got CoreLogic rebranding themselves as Cotality.
This caught my eye. A rebrand is more than just a new logo. It usually signals a deeper shift in strategy.
For sure. And in this case, it seems like they're trying to move beyond just being associated with the mortgage industry and position themselves as a broader player in the property data and analytics world.
Yeah, and they're really pushing this idea of vibrant connection, which I think is interesting. It's like they're trying to create this sense of community among all the different property professionals.
Which makes sense when you consider they already have popular platforms like Matrix and Realist under their belt.
Right. They're not starting from scratch. And I'm curious to see how this rebrand plays out. Will they roll out new products, target new markets? It'll be fascinating to watch.
Absolutely. Okay, so now let's get to the big showdown. The race to create the ultimate real estate super app. And with Rocket's move to acquire Redfin, things are definitely heating up.
Big time. Rocket's aim is crystal clear. They want to create a seamless and affordable way for consumers to transact real estate, and that means building that one-stop shop, that super app we've all been hearing about.
It's interesting, though, because Zillow has been pretty vocal about their housing super app strategy for a while now, so we've got these two giants, both aiming for the same thing, to be the central hub for every aspect of a real estate transaction.
Analyst Mike Delpreet even called it the holy grail of real estate, and I think he's right. Whoever cracks this code is going to have a massive advantage in the market.
Totally. And the analysts are all weighing in on who they think will come out on top. Ryan Tomasello at Keefe, Briette, and Woods pointed out Rocket's dominance in the mortgage world compared to Zillow's strength in search and agent referrals. So they're coming at it from different directions, which makes it even more interesting.
And John Campbell from Stevens talked about Zillow's strong brand recognition with consumers.
Yeah, that's huge. I mean, they reportedly have over 200 million monthly visitors, which is way more than Rocket and Redfin combined. So they definitely have a head start in terms of getting people onto their platform.
But Rocket's no slouch in the mortgage game. They've got a massive network of loan officers and agents, which gives them a lot of firepower when it comes to actually closing deals. However, Jay Voorhees from JVM Lending made an interesting point. Rocket doesn't currently offer the full range of mortgage loan products.
Good point. That could be a challenge for them as they try to serve all those Redfin customers. They'll need to make sure they can cater to a wide variety of needs.
Absolutely. It's a puzzle they'll need to figure out. But you can't deny that Rocket is a powerhouse when it comes to finances. They've got a much higher market capitalization than Zillow, and their combined marketing budgets are way bigger.
Yeah, they're clearly willing to spend big to win this race. And Luca Dahlhausen, the CEO of Realfinity, thinks that we might see even more companies trying to integrate mortgage services into their offerings as they watch this whole thing unfold.
Makes sense. If Zillow and Rocket are betting big on it, others are going to want a piece of the pie. But this whole super app idea raises a lot of questions. Will it really create a more seamless experience for consumers? And what will it mean for the role of the traditional agent?
Those are big questions, and while the convenience of a one-stop shop is appealing, there are potential downsides to consider. What happens if a few companies end up controlling the entire market? And will consumers miss out on the personalized advice and local expertise that individual agents bring to the table?
Good points. It's not a simple equation. Now, when we step back and look at everything we've covered today, one of the most surprising insights to me was the whole Remine story.
Yeah, it was shocking to see how quickly things went south, especially considering it was backed by 4 major MLSs.
Right. They had the resources, the expertise, the good intentions, but they still couldn't make it work. And I think that's a really valuable lesson for everyone in the industry. Developing and scaling technology is hard. Really hard, even for the big players.
It really highlights the potential pitfalls when organizations try to venture outside their core competencies. Building technology from scratch is a risky business. Maybe for MLSs, the focus should be on partnerships and acquisitions where they can leverage existing expertise.
Totally agree. So for you, our listeners who are all about staying ahead of the curve in real estate tech, here's the key takeaway. The landscape is constantly evolving and it's moving fast.
We're seeing a shift towards more integrated, user-friendly tools, like those new CRMs we talked about. And the way we access and manage MLS data is changing, with new partnerships and cautionary tales like Remine.
And then there's this epic battle for the super app, which could completely transform how real estate transactions happen.
So staying informed about these trends is essential for understanding where the industry is headed and what it means for your business.
What aspects of this stood out to you? What questions are you asking yourself as you think about your own work and how you navigate this evolving market?
We encourage you to keep digging deeper into the things that sparked your interest. Thanks for joining us for another deep dive.
Until next time.
If you're interested in your own personalized edition of The Wire, please visit us at thewire.fm/custom. We offer market-specific podcasts with all the latest real estate news and market analysis delivered to you weekly or monthly. Own your market with a personalized edition of The Wire, the week in real estate. Thank you for listening.